Let's get straight to my next guest, Harry Wilkinson. He's head of policy at the Global Warming Policy Foundation and joins us now. Harry, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I want to talk to you about Boris Johnson becoming the third former Tory Prime Minister to criticise Kemi Badenoch for dropping net zero policies, following on from John Major and Theresa May, two obviously brilliant Prime Ministers, in the past. But they're basically saying, you know, Boris Johnson, you can't win the next election by bashing the green agenda. Just how wrong is he about that?
He's incredibly wrong. He's reminded us, has he not, of his characteristic humility. This is the man whose government thought it was appropriate to tell us what cars we could drive, what boilers we could install in our homes. And he's presenting a false dichotomy. This isn't about choosing between dealing with climate change and rejecting it completely. This is about rejecting his authoritarian net zero agenda, which impoverished people, which was responsible for thousands of people losing their jobs in energy intensive industries like the refineries in Grangemouth, like the refinery in Lynmouth, like the potteries near Sheffield and Stoke. You know, this is a disastrous agenda, and it's one that has always been based on compulsion and not getting energy prices down, which actually, as Claire Coutinho has pointed out, is a much better way to drive decarbonisation, because people will adopt the electrification of all sorts of things if you have cheap electricity. We don't have cheap electricity, we have the most expensive.
Yeah, I mean, again, and certainly for manufacturing, 4 times the price in America. And again, they'll push this big AI agenda. You ain't going to be able to be successful in AI if you can't actually afford energy to run AI. And it is a very, very energy-intensive form of technology. But this is the thing, and I think a lot of people forget about it. It's supposed to be, net zero is about being cuddly and nice and caring about the planet and polar bears and all of this. But actually, it's about impoverishing us, and it's about controlling us, and increasingly we're seeing that with not just Labour policies, Tory policies as were, Green policies, Liberal policies, completely signed up to this agenda of what kind of car you can drive, how much it's going to cost you to park. Every time I park my diesel car, it's like, and you're going to get an extra penalty. It's £4 to park plus 60 quid or whatever it is. I'm exaggerating, because you're a bad person, you've got a diesel car. You can almost sort of hear it in the tone. Where you can drive, what they want to control whether you can go on holiday or not, what kind of home you can have, whether you can even sell your home. The control factors are huge, and they are contained within the documents to get us to net zero. People think that people like me are making this stuff up. The policy people have said it's going to require massive changes in our lifestyle, which they'll have to force on us.
Well, we've been having what you could see as a fake debate about net zero in this country. It is the law of the land. It is the law of the land. So this means that until we scrap the Climate Change Act, it doesn't matter what you or I think.
Yeah.
We will not be able to do carbon-intensive activities in the future by 2050.
Well, and you can't
We're living
build
on
anything.
borrowed times,
but you can't build
in terms
anything.
of the lifestyles that we lead. So it's an absolutely urgent priority to escape this net zero straitjacket, to repeal the Climate Change Act, possibly the European Convention on Human Rights as well, because we saw a case in Switzerland where a bunch of Swiss grannies said we were going to be unfairly harmed by climate change. Therefore, the Swiss government had to implement carbon reduction policies regardless of what people thought. So this is an agenda which has huge both legislative and institutional underpinning. And even if Boris may not have approved of all these measures, he didn't stop the civil servants running rampant in terms of the restrictions that they were proposing, the taxes that they were proposing on ordinary people. And that has continued quite clearly under Ed Miliband, who's embraced this agenda wholeheartedly. It really frustrates me to hear these Green Tories talking about, this would be popular or unpopular. This is about what's right for the country, and clearly having cheap energy is absolutely fundamental to our future success. That doesn't have to be completely apart from decarbonising if we use technologies like nuclear.
Exactly. It is genuinely so painful, and the reality check that people have to have about how much is going to involve in impoverishing us and controlling our lives. And there has never been an economy that is successful without cheap and affordable and plentiful energy. It's really that simple. Harry Wilkinson, always good to talk to at the Global Warming Policy Foundation. Guess what, Boris? You're wrong about something else, along with John Major and, of course, Theresa May.